How we doing, guys? So, forgive me if there's a little bit of background noise from the car or from the holder or anything like that. I said I'd give you a little bit of sort of an update of what's going on in my life at the moment. I'm clearly channeling my inner Pow Dwyer with the tank tops here, but I have moved down to the west of Ireland, which I've been down there for about 3 years, but moving back in the summer. So I'm finishing off my final year of the degree. Now, makes it a little bit tough because all my Strongman equipment is here. I can bring down a certain amount, like I have the log down there, but it's a little bit tricky on getting training because you just don't have the equipment. And with Strongman, you have to have Strongman equipment. So, at the moment, I'm coming back to the gym up here to all the Strongman equipment and doing that about 2 days a week. Not ideal, makes it fairly tough getting the training schedule in, but you know, it's got to be done. I am going to be trying to bring down more of the equipment if I can find somewhere to put it. I have to convince some poor gym owner to give me a corner in his gym and let me just dump a load of equipment there. So yeah, that's made it a little bit tricky. I haven't done any competitions, as you'll know, and if anybody has been watching any of my videos, you know why. I have put it off until pretty much next year now. I think it's the first competitions that I'll be doing. The reason being is, again, I've gone through this a few times, but moving from events, basically you've got 5-6 new events every competition, and it makes it very, very difficult. If you're changing events every 7-8 weeks, it's so hard to actually really focus on an event and get really good at it. You can get to a certain level, but it's really, really tough to like nail an exercise. So I'm focusing on the main lifts. Again, a little bit trickier now that I'm up in Castlebar. However, it's been working for me so far. So how's the training going? A few people have been asking me this because I've recently posted some of my training schedules or training sessions, and it's been going really well. So deadlift is my weakness, which a lot of you will know. So this 8-week program, I've been really focusing on trying to get that deadlift up to where it, even close to where it should be. My deadlift should be at, realistically, it should be 280, somewhere up in that region. It's not, it's a long way off that, and that's all down to being realistic. That is all down to my technique. My legs are the most powerful part of me, most powerful muscle group for me, and I'm not using them effectively on the deadlift. I focus on the lower back doing a huge amount of the work, which is fine. There are some incredible deadlifters out there that will use all back, you know, and it works for some people. Most people will do a combination of both. So the phone decided to turn itself off there halfway through, so I just had to stop and restart it. So yeah, most people will, the most effective way is to use your back and your legs. Use basically compound movement, you're using everything. I use my legs, but not as efficiently as I could. I need to create a lot more explosive power off the ground, whereas, and I think it's a throwback to my personal training, when I became an instructor. A lot of the time on courses where you're becoming a fitness instructor, the focus is slow and controlled, and that's generally what people are, the best way for people to do it in the gym, slow and controlled, and then you're safe. With Strongman, there's obviously safety involved, of course, like with every sport. However, there is a slight sacrifice on that slow, controlled movement into we need to generate as much power as possible. So you do need to I need to train myself out of the whole, really slow, controlled, and I need to drive off the ground as much as possible. It just takes time. It's been a long time I've been trying to train myself out of it, but it just hasn't taken root just yet. But it is getting better, and the best way to do it for me is to include different cues. So a lot of people on deadlifts will struggle to get their glutes to engage properly. That's something that I've always struggled with. You should feel your glutes after a deadlift session. You should feel your glutes working. A lot of people just feel their back. So the cues for me is, the biggest one is screwing your feet into the ground. So you're not actually turning your feet or anything, but when you plant your feet, you're really trying to grind your heel and ball of your foot into the ground so they're rooted there. And then obviously, like a lot of you will know with deadlift, it's like a leg press. You're pressing the ground away from you rather than using your back to pull it off the ground. So these are all little things that I have tried to include in my training for this program, and it's definitely paying off. I'm on week 6 of the 8-week program, and the plan will be week 7, and then week 8 will be my test. Okay, so squat is coming along really well. My last deadlift session, I was doing wave training, and if you haven't heard of wave training, I'll put the link up to, sorry, waving at people. If you haven't heard of wave training, I'll put the link up to the tutorial included in your training at some stage. It's an incredible training tool. I tell everyone, just put it into one of your training programs and you will see huge benefits. So in my last deadlifts, I was doing 6 sets, and they ranged from 190 for 6 sets up to 220 for 3, and fairly happy with it. Probably a 7 or an 8 on the 7 or an 8 out of 10 on the struggle, and that's 3 reps. I would hope to be getting the 250 at least. Like I say, really I should be up 270, 280. But if I get the 250 this time around, I'm happy with the progress. That's really good progress. The next one up is squat. Again, I'm on a peak program for that at the moment. Really trying to push that up. That's one of my stronger moves. And we're looking at, I was doing my last one 210 for 3. And I did 200s before that, and just again wave training, so build it up to that. And I would be hoping to get the 250 as well, which is very, very strange when you think my squat is as strong as my deadlift. It's ridiculous, really. There's very few people out there that will have the same numbers on a squat and a deadlift, and it's not because like my squat's strong, but it's not because of that. It's because my deadlift is weak, that it's bringing down my deadlift numbers rather than the squat is weirdly high. It's actually the deadlift is weirdly low. So I might be being way too critical of myself there, but so yeah, if I got 250 on each of them, it would be a hugely successful testing session. So that would be an increase of 15 kg on the deadlift, yes, and 20 kg, 30 kg on my squat, which is huge. But again, I've been building up to this for a while, so you wouldn't normally have those sort of jumps. Again, it hasn't happened, so I may be jinxing myself so much here, but that's the hope. Other than that, I've got the log press, which is coming along as well. Creeping up, upper body stuff will always be a slower process, especially for me anyway, than the big lower body moves, the squat, or obviously the deadlift is, you're using everything, but with the upper body stuff, it will, traditionally I wouldn't have trained it as much, and it's always going to be a little bit of struggle, but it's getting there and it's creeping up. So I'm at 210 on the log press. Again, by the end of this 8 weeks, I would hope to be adding another 5 onto that to get 115. This is what it's all about. It's all about those, little progressions. If anybody out there is doing them and they go, these moves are brilliant, I'm really strong, I'm seeing huge progress, but these moves are weak and I'm really struggling. You will owe every strongman. If you watch World's Strongest Man, the winner of World's Strongest Man is, by and large, dependent on the events. You will get strongmen that, you go, oh yeah, they might do alright, they're having a great time, but the events will suit them and they will do fantastic. Then you'll get the like of Tom Stobel, for instance, who's an incredible strongman, but if you put him in a competition with events that are his weaker ones, he'll really struggle. And the whole base behind everything is obviously tap into your strongest moves, minimize the damage caused by your weaker moves. Everyone's going to have weaker moves. Don't let that put you off. Work really hard to improve them, but in a competition, you're sort of on your weak moves, it's damage limitation. It's, minimize the amount of points you drop. So you're just trying to do as best as you possibly can, but don't let it get you down. Realize, well, this is my weaker event, so as long as I just do as good as possible here and minimize the damage, then I can pick points back up on my bigger moves, my more preferred moves. So, sorry, I digress. But my overhead would be one of those for me. Really coming along. Like I've made really good progress on the overhead stuff. The dumbbell again, now that I've got the monster dumbbell to play with, that has helped a lot, and I'm really excited with that as well, to see what I can do. Now I've only just gotten to use it the last couple of weeks, so it will take a couple of programs to get used to that new monster dumbbell shape compared to the DIY job that we were using, and then we'll see what I'm able to do properly with it. So then other than that, I've gotten back doing a lot of my weight carries. Again, it's just easing back into them. There's nothing mad to report with them. They're coming along, but it's just easing back into them, really. I'm not smashing any new PBs, or I'm sort of just trying to build back up to where I was with the Yoke walk, which Farmers is doing well. So I did 130 for 12 meters, I think it was. Not a huge amount of time ago, sort of 6 weeks or so. So they're all coming along. It's going really well. I'm happy with the training at the moment. Like I say, it is becoming a little bit tougher. The most I can do up in the gym up at Castlebar, it's just a commercial gym, so I can do my deadlift, I can do my squat, I can do barbell overhead press and push press and stuff like that, and I have my log up there, so I'm able to do log strict press and log clean and press. But it does make it very, very tough without the likes of Atlas stones and stuff like that. So today I'm actually going out to do my Strongman day. So I'm back in Mullingar and I'm doing Atlas stones, dumbbell press, axle clean and press, and hopefully, depending if I'm dying after those three, I will possibly do some more stuff if I can, maybe some farmers walks. But beyond that, with life in general, so I'm starting college in about 2 weeks' time, starting back, a week and a half, and the day after I start back in college, the lecturers are going to love me because I'm going to Las Vegas for 10 days. So for a wedding for a couple of my friends, which is going to be incredible, but it's, again, all these things are incredible, but it really hits training. And I know what you're thinking. You're going, do you give a shit when you're going to Vegas and I'm going on a cruise and different things? It's one of those things that when you're training, a lot of people will realize this, that when you're training, if you even take a rest day, it's really tough. If you use training for, mental health or for, just keeping yourself sane and just a hobby and just get out of the house and everything else, then if you even just take a rest day, you tend to feel edgy. You're itchy feet and you need to get going again. And if you take a week off, it can really hit you. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be lying on a beach or at a roulette table, but they don't lie at a roulette table. They don't like that. But it's really tough. So for instance, I trained the whole last week, and it would have been probably Monday. Monday would have been a rest day. I went to the gym. and most people out there will know this. It's very tough. You take a rest day, and because I'm going back to college, I'm not doing a huge amount on my rest days. Bar, obviously, some of the guys watching, I still do personal training with people, so I do online plans. But there's, that takes a little bit of time, but it's a really tough situation where you feel like you've nothing to do. You should be in the gym, that you're missing out, you're missing the gains, and you end up going because you just feel the need to. So taking 10 days off, going out to America, probably eating way too much shite, is gonna be tough, but I'm sure I'll maybe find a Strongman gym in Las Vegas. If anybody's watching and you're in Las Vegas and you know of a Strongman gym, message me, let me know, and we can do a training session. That's the reason why I'm testing before I go. I really try, and because after a testing session, especially if it's quite a few moves, so it'll be a few days that I'll be doing the tests, you need a bit of time off. Central nervous system gets hit so hard. So it would have been a deload week anyway. This way, it's not a deload week, it's an absolute no-load week, but it'll give me time to recover. And then when I come back, it'll be straight into the next 8-week program, trying to push on from what I've done. Like I said, most of this program is a peak program. Technically, if I was following my own advice, I would probably push into a technique-based program after this. However, the whole idea of this, the end of this year, is to get the numbers up. So I possibly will push into straight into another peak program. I'll switch up the training, use different methods so that I am challenging the body in different ways rather than just doing the same thing. But I will probably push into another peak program, try and get as close to that 280 before January as possible, which is huge. Like, I'm at 235 now. You know, I jumped to 280 in, I suppose 6 months, 8 months would be massive, like absolutely massive. With the deadlift, it's definitely possible for me because it's not building the strength. The strength obviously is important, that I will have to build that. And getting the central nervous system, used to that new weight is obviously a huge thing. However, the strength is there. It's the technique that's letting me down. So because of that, it is possible to make that sort of a jump. Normally it wouldn't. So if you're at, 200 kg and you're watching this and going, oh, so in 3 months I could be 250 kg. That's not really, it depends obviously. If you look at it and go, no, my technique is what's holding me back, then yes, there is the possibility to make a huge jump like that. However, most people, if your technique is right, and if you're at big numbers, your technique should be fairly decent. So you just have to gauge yourself. Now, saying that, my technique is good, don't get me wrong, but I know there's certain things that I'm not nailing. I'm not getting 100%. So that's why that big jump is definitely possible. So it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to doing the test to see what I'm able for. It's going to be an absolute disaster if in 2 weeks' time I'm doing the video and I don't even hit my PB or something, my current PB. It's going to be an absolute disaster. But really, God, I'm actually thinking now I've got this week. I've got to at the end of this week take a few days off, 3-4 days, and then test. So literally I've got 4 or 5 days of training left, 4 days of training, and then I'll have to take a rest for 3-4 days and then hit the test. So it's this time next week really that I'll be doing it. That's actually shocked me, to be honest. I thought I had a bit more time. So yeah. God, I've actually shocked myself there. That's a weird one. I thought I had another week. You never count in the sort of rest, the deload, before your test. I always sort of breeze straight over that and go, it's fine. Week training, then test, it'll be fine. But the rest is definitely important. Set up, get myself ready for doing the big weights. If you're doing training sessions all the way up and then trying to test, sometimes it can work. You can just be on form and just on fire. But definitely, if you can do a few days rest or even a week, that's why before a competition, you'll do a really light week, the week prior to the competition. And it's purely just to get as much recovery as possible so that you are ready to hit those big weights. So, shit. So yeah, I will hopefully be live streaming the PB attempts, which again I don't know if it's a good idea because I might fail miserably and then be terrible videos. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself now. I probably shouldn't, but it is the one good thing about testing or training in the commercial gym up in Castlebar. So the commercial gym, it has decent enough equipment, basic, but it has what I need for the testing session for deadlift and squat, but it's quite busy. And a lot of you will know that anybody that's done a competition or anything like that the adrenaline that you get from a crowd pushes you on. It can give you an extra 5 kg or an extra 10 kg. It can go the other way. Some people just cannot hit those big numbers or hit new PBs in front of an audience. However, I get a lot from people's energy, and even the 210 kg squats, which, they're heavy enough, but it's not spectacular. And there must have been 15 people around me cheering me on, which is a nice feeling. I know you can see my head getting bigger here, but it does give you a lot of energy, gives you motivation. And look, I'm not one of these people that ignores the truth behind it, that I want to be as good as I can be. Strength is all that's been important to me. I'm like, right, I want to lift as heavy as I can for me. However, we're all human. We all want that recognition, and that's what motivates us. A lot of the time, that people watching going, oh my God, see what he's lifting, or see what she's lifting, and for a lot of people, me included, that gives huge motivation and pushes you on. So yeah, I know, big-headed, and again, it might completely backfire and they might all be laughing at me rather than cheering me when I don't get the lift, but we'll see what happens. So that's the positive of doing it in the commercial gym. I'll have a lot of support, and hopefully a lot of cheering going on, fingers crossed. But like I say, hopefully I'll be live streaming that as well, and hopefully you can tune in and enjoy it. Other than that, so we've discussed where I am at the minute, where's the training at, holidays. I'm giving you all the information, all the gossip, and then finally getting a few new bits into the gym. And so we're getting some new Atlas stones. Again, a bit of a shout out to Matty Costello down in GSP, gym down in Galway. Incredible strongman gym. Most of the competitions in Ireland are organised by himself and Aisha down there. So they do so much incredible work. And Kayla down there as well, who's spearheading the Strong Woman Ireland and all the competitions that are going on in Strong Woman Ireland at the moment. So they're really a cornerstone, that gym and those people, for strongman and strong woman in Ireland. They're incredible. Speaking of which, gonna get the date wrong now. I feel like it's the 18th. Yeah, 18th of September is first timers down in. It's a competition that, again, GSP are holding down in Galway, and basically for first timers, anybody's first time into strongman. Competition's on. I don't know if there's still places available for it to enter, but if you're around, it's free to come in and spectate. So head on down, watch the competition. I'll put a link down below to the competition details. And like I say, it's any strongman, strong woman competition. The atmosphere is incredible. So just go down. It's a great day. It's free. You can't really go wrong. Watch some incredible monster people lifting some incredible weights. That's what else would you be doing on a Sunday? So that's pretty much it. If you've any questions for me, I keep meaning to get back doing the Q&As. So if you've any questions for me, whether it's questions on any moves, whether it is that you want a tutorial on a move to follow on with, let me know. I'll throw that up. Just anything at all, hit me in the comments below or over onto Instagram, and I will do a Q&A, or I'll do a tutorial, or whatever you want. Just get in touch with me. I keep looking at myself and I need to shave. This is my attempt at a full beard. I've always just gone with the goatee before, and Yeah, I know it's an absolute disaster. I can't grow a beard, but it's only like a few days in or so, or a week in, so I'm gonna give it a try and see. It's patchy. It's patchy because half my bloody hair is blonde, rather than some of it's brown, some of it's ginger. It's a disaster. So yeah, don't judge it too much at the moment. It will get better. It might get better. It's not going to get better. So I'll probably shave. But other than that, that's pretty much all that's going on at the moment. So yeah, like I say, get in touch if you've any questions, and I'm going to try and do a few more of these sort of vlog type videos. Obviously, I do my training sessions, I put them up. I do tutorials. I do sort of some sort of light reviews now and then. And but I do want to start doing a bit more interacting with you guys. So if, like I say, any ideas, bounce them off me, and I'll try and get a video done for them. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.